Joining us now is Kachi Ofia, who is going to now catch the floor with stories trending around the world. Hello, Kachi. Catch it. Over to you.
Hello, Dr. Vasi. Yes, I'm ready to catch it. Good morning, Tundun. Good morning, Rufai. Good morning, viewers. Let's take a look at what's trending today. Beginning with the fact that President Muhammadu Buhari has promised to do everything possible to address the security challenges facing the country, expressing his wish not to leave the government as a failure. Now, he made this vow during the national security meeting at the presidential villa on Thursday. The National Security Advisor, Babagana Mongonos, who briefed the State House reporters after the meeting, basically said that the president expressed so much happiness over the success recorded so far by the security agencies in the fight against insurgents, against bandits, kidnappers, and other criminals in various parts of the country. He also mentioned the president also expressed his readiness to make some more changes in the security architecture of the country if necessary. Now, the president's statement that he will not leave his government, which will, of course, wrap up as we look forward to the 2023 elections, is with regards to the security situation in Nigeria. You know, with the fact that a lot of insurgents have surrendered within the last few weeks. We also saw Murik coming out to say that these people who are surrendering should be treated with some level of understanding. They should be forgiving and accepted back into the society. You know, so this comment has come out with mixed reactions, you know, with people saying, well, we are in the year 2021, we're a few months into 2022. I mean, how much more can be done between now and then to really decide whether or not this government will be regarded as a success or a failure?
Well, I don't think anybody in their right minds actually wants President Buhari to fail. We all want him to succeed, and we all sincerely hope that he does. But whether or not a government succeeds or fails is usually a post hoc exercise that is done with a bit of distance, with some hindsight. Then you can look at the whole overview. And obviously, success or failure is also relative. But right now, what I will say is that I'm glad to hear that the president understands that there's pressure. His legacy has been written every day. He spoke in the context of security, which is extremely important, which is one of the things that got him into power. Some might argue the main promise that got him into power. And as we can see, the results so far have not been great. We appear to be turning a corner now, finally. And I hope that that momentum is maintained. Also, we have to look at the economy, about jobs created, environment for business. The president can point out programs like Anchor Borrowers and Empower and what have you. But what really is the business environment in Nigeria, especially now when a lot of youths are complaining about the strangling of the tech sector? That's also going to be the president's legacy. We can look at other things, even gender equality. What are the strides? The rule of law, what are the strides there? The electoral process, he has to build on his democratic legacy. Has he done that? Infrastructure, power, so many things. So we all do hope that he succeeds. As for Murik that you mentioned, I'm just really taken aback by that statement that you referred to as saying how the repentant insurgents should be treated as brothers. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never heard of Murik or any other organization making any statement in support of women, girls who were abducted by Boko Haram and their innocent children that were born. When those girls finally escape or are released, they are stigmatized in their society. Their children are abused. I've never heard anybody come out from Murik or any of those other organizations in support of those girls. Yet they're vocal about coming out in support of criminals, frankly, which is what they are. And I find that really unfortunate.
Well, Professor Ishaq Akintola is the spokesperson of Muslim Rights Concern, Murik. And what he has said, he says we should treat repentant Boko Haram fighters as brothers and welcome them. What he did not add is that, in fact, we should go and buy flowers and give them flowers and buy perfume. Tundun just returned from the United Kingdom, and we collect perfume, bottles of perfume from Tundun, and douse the Boko Haram, terrorists with perfume and deodorize them. And I think that that's a scandalous statement to make. But he's not the first person to make it. Professor Zulum, the governor of Borno State also made a similar statement. And we have said repeatedly on this program that whereas internationally, yes, there's something about rehabilitation, reintegration, and all of that, but persons who have committed crime, we all need to be reminded that there's no statute of limitation on murder, on arson, on kidnapping. There are laws in this country. So it's not enough to come and tell us that persons who have committed murder, they should be given jollof rice, as they have been doing, and the government of Nigeria should use taxpayers' money to equip their wardrobe and also give them money. Look, a day will come in this country when a Boko Haram fighter will become a governor or a local government chairman, if it has not started happening yet. And that will be an assault on the sensibility of the average Nigerian, indeed on the rule of law. So opinion is divided on this. And I've been quoting Mrs. Oluwaseun Sakaba, the wife of Lieutenant Colonel I. Sakaba, who was killed by these Boko Haram fighters. And the woman on social media has asked a question. If you are giving terrorists jollof rice, then what happens to people like her who lost their husbands? What happens to all the people in internally displaced persons camps who lost their parents, who became orphans? This is the dilemma. This is the irony of the Nigerian situation. And it's shocking that educated people, professors, will be the ones, providing themselves as a spokesperson for what apparently doesn't align with common sense. Now, second point, the one you raised about President Buhari saying he will not end up as a failure. Well, it was a reported speech. It was the National Security Advisor, General Babagana Munguno, giving a report after the president met yesterday with service chiefs. And he was saying the president has told them that he will do whatever he can do about security. He will not end up a failure, and whatever it takes. Well, I guess nobody goes there to be president of Nigeria to end up as a failure. I assume that anybody who wants to be president of Nigeria will want to make a difference. And that's why perhaps politicians, whether they are presidents or governors, they like to be loved by the people. When you praise them, they are very happy. But when you criticize them, they are very touchy. But at this point that President Muhammadu Buhari is, we've been saying it, this is a point where you should begin to build a legacy, because this is not Zambia. This is not some other countries where people will say they want to have a third term. Nigerians will not accept that. So President Buhari's administration is in a phase now where he should begin to put a fence around what he has been able to achieve. And he engaged Nigerians on 3 issues: security, economy, fight against corruption. Okay, along the line, they've added infrastructure to it. Yes, Nigerians will take account. Nigerians will write the story. And that's why we keep arguing that no government, whether it's the Buhari government or any other government, should be insensitive or emotional about criticism. Because when the tenure ends, the people of Nigeria will be here, they will remember, they will write the story. Efforts at revisionism that we have seen in some instances, most recently last week, grand effort at revisionism, in one regard. They've been abusing me, so I don't want to start another fresh attack, has not worked, because the people will always remember. So those who are advising President Muhammadu Buhari, they must realize that they are in a legacy phase and they have to move very quickly. For a man who tried 4 times before he got that office, he certainly must put a legacy in place, and it must be properly defined for a conversation around those issues. They are not yet defining those conversations. His advisors are causing more problems. Going to reopen open grazing and gazetting the ungazetted over open grazing, that's like sabotaging the president.
It's also nonsense.
But anyway, that's enough for now.
Kachi, don't be surprised that Murik and other bodies are saying this. You know why I say don't be surprised? It is something happening already. You say bandits and Boko Haram terrorists, it will get to a point they start taking taxpayers' money. The question I want to ask is, are they not taking taxpayers' money already? The Operation Safe Corridor, is it not the same Nigerian taxpayer money they used to buy clothes for them and feed them? and to rehabilitate them. We say, oh, it will get to a state, Boko Haram or bandits are going to hold elective. Are there not states in the north that their commissioner were former bandits? We all know those states. Why are we deceiving ourselves in this country? It is obvious that we welcome terrorists in this country. It's a country that is loving of terrorists. And that's why I'm not surprised that they say we should open arms and say they are our brothers. In fact, I can bring a Yoruba drum and say, Kaabo, Shidada, Lodi, for these terrorists. Because that's the nation we are building. We don't tell ourselves the truth. But we forget that there are farmers that are being killed in Zabamari. That were killed, nothing was done. We forget that people are in IDP camps. The other day, UN was saying they can't even take births, records of people in IDP camp. Do you think people that are staying in IDP camp love it so much? And so people are saying we should welcome terrorists and celebrate them and treat them as our brothers, isn't it? Yeah, they are our brothers, isn't it? Brothers in crime or in the struggle of Nigeria. I'm not going to be surprised when they start to run for political position. The same Governor Zulum that is talking, why didn't he say, oh, come and power share with me now? When some bandits declare their own region in his states. See, this was the way the Taliban started. Let's never forget that. And we are getting to that point very soon. As regards who doesn't want to be a failure, we don't want anybody to be a failure. But ask yourself the perennial question. Was your life better in 2015 than it is today? Do you have affordable health care in 2015 than it is today? Didn't we hear in the news that they say 4,000 doctors left Nigeria in the space of 4 years? Aren't doctors on strike every time? Don't we have these challenges? I hear we have to go to break. But if your life is better in 2015 than today, then you can tell for yourself.
Well, let's take a quick break on the morning show. When we get back, we'll speak on some more trending topics. Stay with us. Of University of Calabar, in a video circulating on social media, said operating commercial tricycles is better than being a teacher in Nigeria. Now, the graduate of physiology, who hails from Imo State, said to her, it is more profiting working as a transporter than teaching in Nigeria. Let's take a look at that video.
Very enlightening from the way you speak your pidgin English, even in English. Are you a graduate?
Yes, I am a graduate.
Of what?
Of sociology from the University of Calabar.
Why do you choose to take this riding of Okada? Careful.
I was actually teaching in private school.
Yeah.
I started like 4 private schools. So I got tired. Their treatment, the pay was very, very poor. So I thought, let me try this and see what I would pay. Hopefully I'll be getting better. So I never married.
Okay.
Now, from that video, this is just, a few days ago, we spoke on the situation that happened in, Borno State.
You sound
where
very
teachers, after writing the exam, were rewarded with 10,000 naira and 50,000 naira with a few yards of material. And the teaching situation in Nigeria, the job as it is of a teacher, how underappreciated the profession of teaching is. And then, of course, we also spoke of the 33-year-old who came out to print his entire CV on a banner, saying that he needed a job from the government. And then we asked a question, entrepreneurship or waiting on the government to give us job? Clearly, this lady has chosen a side.
She studied physiology. She did not look for a job to practice and become a physiologist. She went into teaching. So that suggests to me that she feels that teaching is her vocation, and she actually tried in 4 different schools and could not get job satisfaction for whatever reason, which is truly unfortunate. I think it's really, Yeah, I wish it had turned out differently for her and for so many others. I will say, though, that there's nothing wrong with her finding fulfillment as a keke driver because she's making more money. Maybe she likes the whole public interface that's going on. As a graduate, I expect that she'll invest her earnings from this business and scale and become the owner of like a huge chain of keke vehicles or decide to go into something else. I'm sure she can have many options, but I just think it's really sad. I hate that saying, a teacher's reward is in heaven. None of us will be who we are without our teachers. We owe them a great debt of gratitude, all teachers. So the way teachers are treated is really quite sickening. The way that they're undercompensated, underappreciated, such that this young lady felt that she had no choice. I admire her ability to pivot into something else rather than sit at home and just be depressed.
Yeah.
But I find this a bit sad, I have to say. But I do wish her all the best because she could become a really big, transport business owner. Anything can happen. The sky is her limit because she does have the qualifications.
Okay, this is a familiar story in Nigeria. In 2018, there was a guy in Damaturu, also a graduate. I think his name was Buka Abubakar. He was also driving, we call it Keke Napep in Lagos, tricycle. In some other parts of the country, I guess in Calabar, when I was, growing up there, we had along, we had Akauke, but this is a tragedy that Nigeria faces. Serious countries train people so that they will be able to compete, so that you can build a population of people with skills with which you can promote industry, innovation, development. But here in Nigeria, for some time, since the crisis we had in the mid-80s, we have been producing university graduates. Many of them have ended up as beer parlor attendants. Some of those barbing salons that you see, the people carrying those clippers, many of them have degrees. Some of them have multiple degrees. So this is what has happened in this country. And that was what I was talking about yesterday, that we have not been able to work out in terms of the design of our education system, a proper school-to-work transition, because we lost it. This country used to have development plans. At the heart of those development plans was this whole point about school-to-work transition. As a final year student, an undergraduate in the same university that young lady attended. She's a Malabres. We call them Malabres. Look, final year, you see people coming to the campus even before you went for your National Youth Service Corps to recruit you to come and join companies. Work was assured. But today, nobody has that. So many Nigerians have lost hope. Young Nigerians are disoriented. Should anybody be surprised why they are also angry with government and the leaders of the country? So in this particular case, yes, she's running a tricycle business. She says she's doing very well. I cited the example yesterday of a lady called Daniel Vivian, a graduate of the University of Lagos. She is frying a chin-chin around town and selling chin-chin with a degree. So it's an illustration of what has happened to our country, but how do we rescue Nigeria? How do we place the proper emphasis on education? How do we ensure that teachers become, again, the heroes and heroines that they were at a point in the history of this country? In many communities in those days, teachers were not even buying food. People will go and take food items from their farms and give to them. People will donate their daughters to them to marry. People will donate their sons for them to help them grow. But today, a teacher's reward is now effectively in heaven. Once upon a time, they collected that reward on earth and in heaven. But today, no. It's only when a Nigerian teacher gets to heaven that he can have any hope. Well, I don't know anybody who has been to heaven and who has come back to report to us that a particular teacher got rewarded in heaven. So the challenge we should be talking about is how do you address this so that one of these days, we don't come up with a graduate who will end up as whatever on the streets of Nigeria. Although we made a point yesterday about entrepreneurship, but people should not resort to entrepreneurship out of desperation. They should not resort to entrepreneurship because their country has failed them.
The only country where a teacher's reward is in heaven is a country that doesn't care about education. And it is obvious. If we pay the same attention we pay to bandits, to teachers in this country, teachers will live better. We are so quick to relocate bandits, provide homes and mansions for them to live in. Have Operation Safe Corridor for them. When are we going to have Operation Save the Teachers? So we don't care about education. We care more about criminals. That's the country Nigeria has become. Teachers in Finland will not say teaching is not a noble profession. Because when they teach, the government cares about them. And that's why you see that primary school enrollment completion rate has depleted, less than 50%. And nobody cares about it. So that's what Nigeria has become. And you see the sad thing about the lady, riding the rickshaw, is the fact that government will still come and tax her with that rickshaw she's riding. Motor park boys will still come and collect the little money she makes. So young people are innovating and being entrepreneurs, you still tax them. You can't provide jobs, you can't let them go. So what is the problem? It's an indication of how Nigeria has become. You have poor quality education. Out of school children on the increase, close to 15 million. But all we hear is a teacher's reward is in heaven because no, bandits' reward have become in Nigeria. Bandits' reward have become in Nigeria. They get forgiveness. Some people will say, let's call them our brothers. But teachers' reward can be in heaven, while bandits and criminals' reward are in Nigeria. We can't build a country this way. I keep saying that. We can't build a country this way.
Well, Kachi, well, I think we just close it there and wish you a very pleasant weekend as you enjoy your Friday and the rest of the weekend. Thank you very much indeed. We'll see you next week.